Welcome to Dan's Crypto Adventures. It's been a little while since I've done a video. Today's video is going to be talking about the Enclosure, which you may be able to see in the background, really not sure. So it's been about, I think it's been about 5 months, maybe 6 months since I completed that, and it has been running continuously with 2 GPU rigs in there, one rig with 8 cores, one with 6. There's also a Z9 Mini in there as well. So all 3 of those units have been in there the entire time. I'm not going to get in the debate about, is GP mining dead, whatever. Mine are still running, both of them. And so today's video, we're just going to talk about the Enclosure and kind of see if it was a success. So I really have kind of 2 questions I want to answer. One is, did it work? Did it meet the goals that I was looking for? And then the second question is, what would I change? What would I do differently? And so I'm not sure if it's going to be 1 video or 2 video or how exactly it's going to work out. But hopefully we can answer at least the first question today of did it work? And so I'm going to do a quick overview of the Enclosure for anybody that hasn't watched previous videos. In the previous video I went through and built the entire thing so you can see all of those details. So here is the Enclosure itself. So I've got a filter right there. There's one on the other side as well. Then I got double doors that open all the way up, some windows here so you can see in there. Right there, the fan isn't right there. The fan is in there that exhausts up through those ducts right there. So there's 3 8-inch ducts that go to the outside. So let's go around to this side. So right there's where those 3 ducts go out. So there's one right there and then 2 kind of over there. It's dark, you can't really see it. And then right down here is the other filter. Those are 12-inch by 20-inch filters that are the one on each side. And so let's take a look inside. So again, we got the double doors here so you can open up nice and wide to be able to work on it. I do have the glass window so you can see inside when it's running. I've turned everything off for the purpose of this video. It was about 80 degrees in there when I shut everything down. So I took out 1 rig so it's easier to see. So I've currently got 1 GPU rig and my Z9 Mini. Anybody that's seen my previous videos on dust knows that I did kind of a finger test, a little finger swipe on one of these rigs to show you how much dust was on it. And so I did a little test one right here. You can't really see, but live for the camera, I'm going to do another one right here. And you can barely see it. I might not even be able to see it on the video. There's barely a line, so very little dust has gotten on these. And again, if you look back at the previous video of how much dust was on there, the last time I did that when these units were not in here, it was pretty significant. And so that was one of my goals initially, was to cut down the dust that was getting on these units because it was a significant amount. The other question, the other thing I was trying to solve was heat. And it was getting up to about 95 degrees here in the basement in the summertime. It is the summer, but it is a basement. Usually basements are pretty cool. With these rigs, we're heating up the entire basement. Right now, they do not do that at all. So that has been definitely a success. So significantly cut down on the dust on the units, the general heat in the basement. It was doing a good job of keeping this cool. It was about 20 degrees cooler, plus or minus, inside of this box. I'm sorry, 20 degrees warmer inside this box than it was outside, but it was about 20 degrees colder than it had been previously. So I view that as a success. I think it did a good job of keeping the temperatures down and the temperatures controlled within the box. So let's take a look at the filters. I want to show you, so it's been, I think it's a little over 5 months since I completed these and put everything together and started everything up. I've changed filters once during that time. So I'm going to put down the camera and get kind of a close-up shot to show you how dirty the filters are. And I'm ready to change them again. So that means they lasted about 2.5 months each. Then I changed them both out. So I'm going to set up the camera and then we'll take a look at how dirty those actually are. Alright, so I've got the camera set up here with this filter on the left side of the unit. I kind of went over the other side off camera and kind of touched it, and it was actually pretty amazing how much dust was on there. And so I was hoping to set up the camera so you guys could really see. I got some light shining here. Hopefully you'll be able to see the amount of dust that is on this thing, because it is time to change these out and they are pretty filthy. So I'm going to pull this off, so I need to change the filters anyway, and hopefully you can kind of see the dust come off of there. So let's kind of pull it up. You can already see a ton of dust coming off of there. So they're absolutely filthy. That's good. Some of the dust went in there. That's probably not good. But yeah, so you can see they're definitely dirty. They're definitely disgusting. I'm gonna go grab another one real quick and a new one and show you what that looks like. Hang on. All right, so here's a brand new filter, and here's the old one. So you can see how much different it is. Just so you guys know, I believe that the concrete on the floor in here is defective. If you just sit there and sweep, you constantly get kind of concrete powder coming off of it just continuously. So I think that's defective. So I think that's the source of most of this dust. You can see how clean this one is and how dirty this one is. About 2.5 months. There's no hair on it, or very little hair on it. We do have a dog, but very little hair on it. It's primarily that what I believe to be that concrete dust. So anyway, so I'm going to take out the old one and put in the new one. And then we should be good for another 2.5 months or so. And of course I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. And then I'll be able to fire everything back up and get it going again. So yeah, let me change out the old one on the other side as well. Alright, so I got both of those filters changed out. So here is the new one on this side. And there's the new one on the other side. So now I'm ready to turn these the unit back on and fire everything back up. I'm not going to show you guys that. It's just kind of the same old equipment. It's not very exciting. It just kind of runs. So anyway, kind of recap. I definitely feel like it accomplished my primary goals of keeping the temperature here in the general basement down. I definitely think it succeeded at that. And also keeping the dust off of the rigs. It definitely did a very good job at that. So I consider that a success. But there are some pretty significant things that I would do differently. I think there were some definite mistakes that I made when building it. And so I think I'm going to do a separate video on that, what I'll do differently, and to point out kind of some of the errors that I did make. So some of those I think are pretty major. That if I was going to build another one, I would definitely redo those. And actually, some of them I thought about modifying this one so that to eliminate those errors because they're that significant. So anyway, thank you for watching Dan's Crypto Adventures. Appreciate it. Please hit subscribe and give me a like down at the bottom if you enjoyed this video. Thanks. See ya.